Okay, let's talk about City of Ember chapter 6 through 7. So Lena has a strong relationship with her grandma and her sister. So both her parents passed away and grandmother's health is declining, especially her mental health. So she becomes really forgetful and then she doesn't have the capacity to take care of the kids. So basically, Lena as a teenager, she's about 12 or 13 and she has the entire responsibility to take care of her little sister and also her grandmother. So she is taking the parental role and heavy responsibility at such an early age. So that's why she feels it's really urgent to come up with a solution, not only for her grandmother and her little sister, but then for the entire city because it's a matter of survival. So basically, Lena's strong love for her family becomes a momentum for her and drives her to seek solutions for this declining city. Uh, okay. And then Granny, whenever Lena comes back home from her job, she is frantically searching for a lost item and she doesn't even know what it is. She's just like looking for it. And I think this act is a symbolization of a forgotten knowledge of the city that has been going on for generations. So there is there's a knowledge that's really crucial for their survival, but then it has been neglected and then lost. So I think one of the novel's greatest themes is how we need to connect with our past so that we can come up with solutions for the future. So learning out about the history always gives us lessons and insight, also wisdom to come up with solutions for the future. Yes, and then the mayor of the city of Ember, he is definitely the antagonist of the novel. Antagonist is the villain of the novel that fights against the main character. So he's a figure of authority, figure of strong power, and he symbolizes corruption. And then he's just satisfied with his job because he has enough power and then enough wealth, so he doesn't really care about the plight of the common populace. So he's very self-interested, and then he says that he cares about the people of City of Ember, but he lacks the genuine concern for the people. So and then Lina tries to send a letter. She actually sent a letter to the mayor about the instructions, which might be very important for the future of this city, but then he doesn't even respond. So he dismisses these children, these teenagers, and he thinks that he is a person of importance. But then I don't think that City of Amber would not suffer one bit if he disappears. So his priority is maintaining his power and his status, and then he doesn't really care about addressing the dire situations that people are facing in the city. So he just wants to preserve the status quo. He just wants to preserve the life as it is because it just doesn't bother him. Yeah, and what about the citizens of Amber? Why are they so quiet and why don't they start a revolution or rebellion of some sort? Because I think they are in a state of fear and they're also indoctrinated, which means that they're brainwashed by the mayor. So some of them might be even believing that the mayor is right. That's probably because of generations of lack of education. So they're allowed to go up to until elementary school. So they don't get enough education that helps them think critically. Also, the city is pretty much isolated. It exists underground, and then they don't have limited information about the outside world. So this city of Amber sort of reminded me of a totalitarian society that we are most familiar with, which is North Korea. Because in North Korea, the situations that people face are so dire, so extreme, but then they don't start any kind of movement against the regime because they don't have much information about the outside world, and then the country is pretty much isolated. Also, they are mostly focused on daily struggle for survival, so their all the attentions are paid to immediate needs like food and like shelter, just like primitive man, rather than like giving them opportunities to think about broader questions like what are the directions that the society has to take. So they are basically uneducated, so it's beyond their capacity to envision any alternatives, any solutions. Yes, that's about it. I'll be looking forward to your answers. Thank you so much.